If you're an actor looking for honest conversations about those tricky early years of the industry, then keep on watching as we figure out how we can get from the couch to the call sheet. Hi, it's Amy and welcome back to Couch to Call Sheet, the series where we explore and talk about what it's really like to be a young upcoming actor in the industry as we start our careers and we wait and we work towards our first yes or our first big break yes or our next job, whatever the case may be. So hello if you are new here and welcome back if you're one of my 3 loyal subscribers. It's lovely to see you again. Apologies for the delay in episode 4. I did say on my Instagram that I was going on holiday and I wasn't sure if I'd have time to do it before. So if I had a tan, which I do, then I'd film it after. So it's been a minute. We're a bit rusty, but hopefully you don't mind. And I didn't want to rush it, so we're doing it after holiday. I'm also doing it on a Sunday night in the sweltering heat and the tropic conditions of my glass conservatory. I tried doing this earlier in the heat of the day and I was struggling, ladies and gents, let me tell you. So it's about 8 o'clock now that I'm doing this, so we're going to try and give it a go. If it doesn't work, we'll park it and we'll do it another day. But episode 4 today is one that I'm quite passionate about and quite interested in as a topic generally in the industry, and it's talent versus looks. So I've kind of split it into 2 parts because I wanted to speak about that kind of thing in the industry when you go for an audition and you nail it or you perfectly fit the brief or whatever the case may be, and then they say, oh, you're too tall, so you didn't get it, or you don't quite fit the vibe of that family, so sorry, we're going with someone else, and how that feels and the impact that that has and how we can kind of get out of that cycle. And then I also want to speak a bit just generally about kind of body image in the industry and the kind of standard that you're meant to aspire to, or what actors should look like in Hollywood, or the body image that you should aspire to, and all of that bollocks. I think is quite important to recognise and chat about as we go into the industry. So yeah, if that sounds of interest to you, I hope the light doesn't eat me, but I'm past caring at this point, so I'm sat like this because the sun is perfectly blocking me. But yes, if that sounds of interest to you, then please keep on watching as we get into episode 4. So as actors, I'm sure we've all been to an audition or been in a scenario where we've been up for a part, done the self-tape, gone into the room, and we've absolutely nailed it, and you've done everything that you can, you've nailed the brief, and then you get your feedback from the audition and they go, oh, it's gone a different way because you were slightly too tall, or you didn't slightly match with the other character that they've already cast, or your hair wasn't quite the right colour. And you just go, oh, God's sake, is what I do. I went to an audition a little while ago and I remember they said I was too tall, and it was like, well, why'd you get me in the room then? Well, like, you know, what a waste of time and energy and hope. But it's a big part of the industry, and I think since graduating drama school and just kind of, as I've kind of gotten older, I've become much more aware that your appearance and how you look plays a very important factor as to whether you get a job or not. Like, I think I used to be quite naive in the fact that I'd just go, oh, well, whoever does the self-tape the best will get the part, or whoever impresses the casting director the most will get the part, or whoever makes that person cry will get it, obviously. But it's actually, no, there are so many factors that go into why you may or may not get a part, and I'm getting better at understanding that, but it took a while for me to get there. And I think we always get told, don't take it personally, you know, it's just business, and it's just it's not you, it's all these other things. And I remember I'd get quite, and sometimes I still do, is I get quite frustrated because I'm like, I can't control that, I can't grow, I can't shrink, I can't change my eyes, I can't change my foot size, like, I don't know. But it's like, I know I'd be really good for that, and I really smash that, and you know, sometimes I'd be really gutted because I'm like, oh, it's so annoying that it's almost a physical thing that I can't change, and that's why you've given me a no. But this is a thing. I think it comes with time and age a little bit, that you kind of start to understand that a lot of the time it isn't just you, and that you can't take it personally, because there are 10,000 other reasons as to why you don't get a part, which kind of sucks, and that is shit that we kind of have to deal with that. But also sometimes I try and will flip it and look at it as a bit of a consolation, that if I don't get a part because I'm too tall, I'll go, right, I didn't get the part because I was too tall. It wasn't because I was shit or my performance was bad. And, you know, deep down, even though I'm annoyed on the surface, I'd much rather that than them tell me that I didn't get the part because I wasn't very good. Does that make sense? But don't get me wrong, you know, it's a work in progress. Still, absolutely, there'll be times where I'm like, oh my God, like, if I only looked like that, or if I only did this, or came in with that hairstyle, then I might have had a better chance. But it's like, well, you didn't do that, and that wasn't your initial reaction to the character, and that isn't what you look like, and you can't change that, so don't worry about it. I think for me, it just becomes quite a tiring thing to constantly think about. Like, I'm already worrying about my lines and my performance and how the camera's set up. And it's like, oh, well, do I think that they'll think I look right? Do they think I'll look pretty enough for the part? Do I fit into the standard of what a lead female should look like? But it's like, oh, I just can't think about that. Like, I don't have control over that, but it's quite tiring to do that and to be aware that that is kind of part of the industry. I try and not let looks affect my performance or affect who I want to be in this industry and what kind of actor and what kind of performer I want to be in the industry. Like, you can only ever try and stay true to yourself. And, I think being a kind person, being a good person, being proactive and being on time and doing all of that other actory stuff is just as important as your looks. Like, looks, yes, plays a part in you getting a part or not, but I still only like to think of it as a small part, because I think if I think of it as anything else, then it becomes quite, just damaging of me thinking if I look good all the time. It's like, there's a lot more to me than just my looks. So, I can go in and give the performance of a lifetime, and that's all I can do, and that's the only thing I can improve and control. So that's what I'll improve and control. I won't alter my face. I won't change how I look or try and conform to this, that, or the other to fit what you want. It's like, no, this is what I have, and this is my package. Take it or leave it. This actually was the catalyst for wanting to do this episode, because I remember being at drama school, and I remember an article coming out about, it was either Florence Pugh or Selena Gomez, and it was, a shit media article about oh my god, Florence Pugh has gained weight, or Selena Gomez looks awful, commenting about their bodies. And I remember reading it and going, I'm bigger than them. At the time I was like a little bit bigger, and I was like, well, I'm bigger than them. So if the media is scrutinising Florence Pugh and Selena Gomez for looking like that, they look amazing, and I'm a little bit bigger, oh my god, well, what am I going to be to the media? Like, that's, what the hell? And I remember it being the first kind of time I had the thought of, oh, this is an industry I want to go into where I'm going to put myself on display, open for scrutiny, as it were, or open for people to view me and comment on things. Like, am I ready for that? And I remember I had a meeting with my tutor, because it sent me into a bit of a meltdown. I was like, I'm not sure, people will be mean to me, people will say this and people say that, but it's like, I'm not going to go on all these diets, and I'm not going to do this to try and change, but this is who I am, but the media doesn't want it, and it was a whole thing. But yeah, I remember that being my first kind of moment of going, ooh, it's a business that is open to the public eye. Is that something you really want? So this kind of goes into the second part of the episode, because we all know that the industry, a lot of industries, but obviously the acting industry specifically for this video, has this image of what women and men should look like on screen. And does that set a good example for young actors and actresses going into the industry to aspire to have this body type, or to look this certain way, or to have that surgery? I think it's a constant conversation, but I think it's an important one to have and to engage into. So, obviously headshots are we're often told, are like the most important thing. It's like, your headshots will get you into the room and they'll do this. But even like when I get my headshots, I'm like, I don't want to faff too much about my headshots, because, this is just one part. It's like, the headshots will get me into the room, sure, but then I've got to still be able to back it up, so what good is it having a nice headshot that I look glamorous in, if I get into the room and actually I can't do the job that I've said I could do? So it goes back to that thing, I think, of, the industry says you need to look like this, and this is what we like, and this is what we think is beautiful, and this is what a lead woman should look like, and this is what a lead man should look like. This is what the best friend looks like, and to get the part, you need to look like this. It's like, but I don't look like that. I personally think that, a good actor, you can adapt and you can change and evolve into the character. You can adapt into being anything. And that's the joy of being an actor. Like, I come in as a bit of a blank canvas, and I'm like, I will mould myself to that character, but I won't mould myself as me, Amy, if that makes sense. I think deep down everyone kind of has that thought of, being conscious of their body and being conscious of this and that, the other. But it's like, also at the same time, like, I am a girly girl, and the thought of being on a red carpet in a dress excites me to the nth degree. I'm like, yes, pose. Shoot me in a dress. Shoot me in this magazine. Because that's fun and that's what I want to do. But there is that tiny part of me that is like, well, what will they think of my body? What will they do with this? So again, that I think as I've gotten older is a bit of a work in progress. That absolutely is, you know, that's an actor thing and that's an Amy thing. So we all have our little insecurities and we all have the things that we don't like. But I really try to not let that get into my work and take over my brain as something that is at the forefront of my mind all the time of how big or small I am, because it's just not healthy, and it's not the kind of actor I'd want to be, you know. And I'd like, if I was to make it, I'd want to be the kind of actor that does say no to, you know, unrealistic standards, or says, no, well, this is what I am, this is what I'm going to be, I'm not going to lose 18 stone for to be this part for you, you're crazy. The last bit of the video is just a little something I thought I'd share with people, for anyone who may be feeling the same or feeling a bit rubbish or worrying about how, you know, image and all that bollocks may affect you as you go into the industry as an actor. I really enjoy reading and listening to interviews with actors who are all like against that and try to defy body standards. I think it's really refreshing to listen to and actually really encouraging as young female actors and male actors to listen to. So I thought I'd share a couple of those people today, just in case anyone just to kind of listen to. The first one, obviously, is Kate Winslet. Kate Winslet is a massive advocate for anything body positive, and kind of defying the norms that the industry has laid out for the last hundreds of years. So one little quote that she said in one of her interviews is, "As women, we so need to be having that conversation and celebrating just being a real shape and being soft and maybe having a few extra rolls." Need I say more? I think she's great. I think everyone is might know about, I think she did an interview for Titanic, or there was something that came out about her in Titanic where she didn't quite fit the stereotype of what Rose was meant to be, or so didn't someone say she was like too fat to be Rose, or was fat at the time? It's just crazy. But she is great to listen to, for anything acting wise and anything actually just kind of when you just need like a little woman hug from an actor that you want to look up to. Like, she's great, so I would listen to anything that Kate Winslet says ever. Who else have we got? We have got Florence Pugh. Florence Pugh is another one. She's one of my favourite actors, but she's also a really good advocate for saying fuck you to anyone who tells her to lose or gain weight. She has repeatedly made it clear that she won't lose weight to just look fantastic for a role. And where's her little good quote that she said? She says, I'm never losing weight to look fantastic for a role. It's more like, how would this character have lived? What would she be eating? And again, I think that's great. I think it's myself as the actor. I don't want to change how I am as me, but how would the character be living? What would they be eating? How would they be living? What would their lifestyle be? I think that's a really healthy way to approach it, rather than I need to look a certain way for the red carpet, I need to look a certain way for this tour or whatever. Florence Pugh is also a really, really good one as well. Who else did we have? Emma Thompson as well is a great one. She, I don't know what interview it is or where I heard it, but I think it's a interview that she does where she says, your body is your vessel, your body is your house, don't judge it and don't treat it like harshly or something like that. And I've always remembered that because it's very true. Like, it is your house and it's where you live, I think is what she said, which was a really just comforting thing to say. And I know that, didn't she do a movie not too long ago where she was like fully naked, and she spoke about how kind of freeing that was and how great that was, and how women above the age of 50 don't really do that, but they do that in real life. So Emma Thompson's also a great one. Jennifer Lawrence as well. She, when it came to her doing, was it Katniss? Jennifer Lawrence, yes. Lawrence has openly expressed frustration that a healthy, fit and naturally proportioned woman is considered curvy or heavy by industry standards. She advocates for a new normal body type to give young girls healthier role models. Yeah, she didn't want Katniss to look starved. She said, I wanted her to look strong and fit rather than underfed, because that's not what we should be aspiring to. So she's also a great one. And like for guys as well, there's a couple for the guys. I think Zac Efron in Baywatch, he, obviously if you've seen Baywatch with Zac Efron, he was super jacked, but I think I remember reading somewhere that it was like a really unsustainable diet and plan that he was on to achieve that body. And he did an interview somewhere that said it's just not sustainable, and I don't think I'd ever want to go back to doing that for a movie again. Ooh. And the last one was Richard Madden. Was there something that I screenshotted on here for him? Richard Madden. Yes. When reading scripts, he can tell that certain scenes are made for him just to take his top off. Talking about the unhealthy regime it takes to get this body type and then promoting it on screen, he expresses conflicts. I find myself with actor friends, after we've done kind of barely eating, working out twice a day, no carbing things for these scenes, looking at each other going, we're just feeding this same shit that we're against. Again, it speaks for itself. Like, it's the same for the men, is that I think every man is then, to be an attractive lead, it's like we have to be jacked and have a six-pack, and it's like, well, it's not realistic. Like, it's really hard to get a six-pack, and to eat sustainably and to eat good, like, that's really difficult. So there's just some names that have cropped up, like Kate Winslet and Florence Pugh and Jennifer Lawrence have been really good ones for me that I go back to quite often, and I enjoy listening to them when they're ever speaking about things to do with images in the industry. But I thought that might just be helpful to close with some words of wisdom from actors that we can aspire to. So yeah, I think that may be the end of the episode today. I apologise again if that was a bit ranty. It's weird how kind of rusty you feel after not doing it for like 3 weeks. But I hope what I said made sense and someone found it useful or a bit comforting, you know, to know that we all go through this industry feeling a bit rubbish at times, or feeling like we don't fit in with this standard or this idea of what actors and actresses should look like. And it's like the important stuff is here, and the important stuff is what we show on screen, and that's all we can go into the room with, and that's all we can control. So control that and own that. So yeah, my piece is said. So I hope that was helpful for some people. If not, oh well. So yeah, thank you for watching. Episode 5 next time I think is going to be on theatre versus screen. I said that for the previous episode, but I think next week is theatre versus screen. And then episode 6 is going to be is called The Dream versus the Day Job, which is also going to be one I'm quite excited to film. I hope the sun hasn't infiltrated too much. I can't wait to review my footage and for it to have ruined my entire day, but we'll see. So yes, enjoy, have a good week. It's Sunday now, but have a good week, and I will see you for episode 5 next time. Bye!